And we begin this Friday afternoon with wintry weather on the way. Can't see it right now. Nice to see some blue sky out there, but several inches of snow plus sleet, ice, freezing temperatures. Central Indiana is bracing for all of it coming up this weekend. Thanks for joining us at 4 o'clock. I'm Dustin Grove.
And I'm Felicia Lawrence, and we want to get right to meteorologist Rob Ellis, who is tracking today's weather impact alert. There's some things that people need to know.
Yeah, we know that it's going to be still some changes in our forecast, but we're really starting to focus in on what to expect. I'm going to try to drive that home for you, show you what to expect. Let's start with where we are. The system is still a ways away, so keep in mind you're going to have a dry forecast for tonight and a dry forecast for tomorrow, although there are still a few snow flurries that are out and about. It is not related to our current system that's expected to arrive here on Sunday. It's still out over the Pacific, but it is starting to come on shore, so we're starting to get some sampling here. All of that data that's being collected now will go into some of the computer models, and they will start to fine-tune the forecast. The system will start to develop an additional area of low pressure, and this is the one that we track that brings us a chance for snow starting on Sunday morning. That may at some point change over to a little bit of sleet or freezing rain by Sunday afternoon, and then we'll eventually see this transition back to snow. That's the general gist of what we expect to happen, but the devil is always in the details with these storms, and there are a lot of details. I'm going to show you a snowfall forecast map, 4 to 7 inches of snow. We did push this a little farther south as the trends have been for the track to take the system a little farther south. There still could be some isolated higher amounts, but a couple of things here. Sleet is going to be possible, as well as some freezing rain, especially on the southern half of the storm, really south of Interstate 70, and that may cut into some of those snowfall totals, especially if this sleet lasts a little bit longer or extends a little farther to the north. So there's still some things I'm watching that could still change. We're really starting to narrow in on this forecast, but the track, it has trended a little farther to the south, and if that trend continues, we may need to make some adjustments. The icing, if we do see some, that would lower any snowfall accumulation that we're expecting in certain areas. But there are some models that are calling for some drier snow on the backside of this event to end the event, and that could boost the snowfall totals. I'll go through all of these scenarios coming up. I'll talk about what we're expecting with snowfall totals as we look to after the system moves through, the cold temperatures. I'll have that for you coming up. In the meantime, traffic-wise, let's do a quick check of that. Overall, looking pretty good. It's Friday light. We like to see that. We do have some slowdowns. These are the usual suspects. 465 eastbound as you approach Interstate 69, Interstate 69 southbound as you're approaching 465. One thing I will mention is that we do have a couple of dry days today and tomorrow before that snowy system arrives. And in some of these NDOT cameras, you can already see some of the brine that has been put down on the roads. There's no rain to arrive before the system gets here to wash that away. That could be good news for NDOT to get ahead of the storm.
All right, Rob, thank you so much. And we checked with both NDOT and NDDPW on how crews will be preparing for this storm.
State highway trucks are spraying brine on the roads. They did that yesterday, and we'll have more crews working 12-hour shifts starting tomorrow through Tuesday morning. Now, here within the city, NDDPW says today is all about getting ready.
Yes, you have to prepare. Today, crews were making sure their salt barns are all ready to go, and snowplows are prepping to pre-treat overpasses, bridges, roads, and ahead of the snow.
It's all hands on deck this weekend. It's all hands on deck for the next week. This is not going to be a quick snow fight. This will be a marathon.
Of course, they're all asking everybody to plan for extra time to get where you need to go on Sunday and into Monday. You can track the snow and colder temperatures by downloading our WTHR weather app. It gives you the interactive radar. You can track it hour by hour, get the forecast there. You can pinpoint it all the way down to your neighborhood. You can also check out the weather blog. It's a free download in your phone's app store.
Right now, IMPD is investigating a deadly shooting on the city's near north side.
One man is dead after officers found him outside an abandoned building. We broke this news this morning on Sunrise, and our CN New Yorker continues our coverage this afternoon.
Just after 4 this morning, IMPD got calls about a shooting near 30th and North Capitol. When officers arrived, they found a man suffering with gunshot wounds in the doorway of this apartment complex. Officer Tommy Thompson tells me, although first responders tended to him, he was pronounced dead on the scene. He's been identified as 53-year-old Charles Arnold Jr.
We don't want to see this, right? We don't want to see this.
Metro Police tell 13 News this is an abandoned building where homeless persons sometimes stay when it gets cold. For hours, police blocked off Capitol Avenue as investigators gathered evidence. They tell us one man was detained as a person of interest but was later released. Now they're searching for the killer as frustrations mount about gun violence and senseless killings.
We cannot be resorting to violence to solve our issues. We, from the top to down, everybody is frustrated that people continue to have conflict resolution that results in some type of physical altercation. That's not what we need to do. We are better than that. We are Indianapolis. This is a great city. There is so much here. We need to do better.
Police are still investigating and asking anyone with information to get in touch with detectives. Information can even be left anonymously. We've put information on our website at WTHR.com. Reporting on Indy's North Side, CN New Yorker, 13 News.
And now to the investigation into the New Year's attack in New Orleans. It's not only uncovering evidence of what investigators believe happened, but it's also casting a spotlight on why some preventative measures apparently just didn't happen.
So we want to show you some new surveillance video from inside a restaurant on Bourbon Street. It shows just how close that truck came to hitting revelers just outside the front door.
Meantime, the city council says it'll seek out its own answers into what one member is calling troubling revelations surrounding the deadly attack. Lee Waldman reports from New Orleans.
This was a cascading series of failures.
New Orleans City Council member J.P. Morell is demanding answers into why more wasn't done to prevent the deadly truck attack on New Year's Day.
During the FBI briefing yesterday, it was made public that this individual posted on social media well before the attack that he intended to do something and that this was not flagged.
Equally concerning, he says, the lack of use of the city's protective bollards. A 2019 security report raised the alarm about the safety structure's vulnerabilities. And city leaders said this week that the bollards were in the process of being replaced, which is why they weren't activated on the morning of the attack. Now the city council is launching its own investigation.
It's troubling that with the Super Bowl being awarded to the city, that this was not prioritized immediately to get done. We're getting to the bottom of what happened, because right now there was a problem.
The police chief confirmed that wedges and archer barriers were in place for Sugar Bowl crowds on Thursday.
Even if it did malfunction, we have all of this extra protection. But we have raised it. We have what we call the archers for the sidewalk protection.
Archers that remain in place today, but weren't there on New Year's Day when the truck's driver veered around a police car and drove onto the sidewalk. All factors spurring the council's new fact-finding mission.
Obviously, what was done to address this problem before this attack was beyond insufficient, and we're going to find the answers to those questions.
In New Orleans, I'm Lee Waldman.
And then here in Indianapolis today, a group of former elected leaders is putting pressure on IPS to make some big changes.
And the new bill proposed by state lawmakers may have something to do with it. Our 13 News State House reporter Emily Longnecker is here now to explain. Emily?
Hi, folks. Yeah, a group of former Indianapolis mayors, both Republican and Democrat, along with 3 current city county councilors and a former IPS school board president, sent a letter today to IPS. Basically, it says issues within the district need to be addressed now at the local level before the state steps in and takes over.
The bill sparking the urgent push for dialogue within IPS leadership, House Bill 1136. Under the bill, if more than half of the students living in a school corporation attend a school that's not in the district would dissolve and schools turned into charter schools. 5 school corporations, including IPS, are listed. All schools would have to transition by July 2028, with the lowest performing ones making the change first. This bill uses 2024 statistics to determine enrollment numbers. So who would oversee the new charters? According to the proposed bill, a new 7-member board would be in charge of the charter schools. The governor would appoint 4 of those members. The city's mayor would get 1 appointment.
The legislature has already signaled the willingness to tackle this problem with the introduction of a House bill. And we believe that before that bill progress forward, that issue must be addressed locally. That is important that the Board of Commissioners, along with the superintendent and her team to engage the community and families in a way that we can create a stronger and better school district for all of our families.
Now, we reached out to IPS to get their reaction to this House bill and to this letter from local officials. A spokesperson says they are working on statements about both. Coming up later, we'll discuss some of the issues this letter says the district needs to tackle now. Emily Longnecker, 13 News.